chief guest and the keynote speaker of the 14th International Research Conference of General Sir John Kotalawala Defence University, Principal Advisor to the President, Mr. Lalit Weerathunga, Ambassadors and High Commissioners, Foreign Secretary Admiral Professor Jayanath Kolambage, Chancellor of KDU General Jerry D. Silva, retired, Chief of Defence Staff and Commander of the Army, General Shavendra Silva, Commander of the Navy, Vice Admiral Nishantha Ulugetanna, Chairman of the University Grant Commission, Professor Sampath Amaratunga, Vice Chancellors of other universities, Vice Chancellor of KDU, Major General Milinda Piris, Chief of Staff of the Air Force, Air Vice Marshal Prasanna Payo, Director General of the Institute of National Security Studies, Professor Rohan Gunaratna, Deputy Vice Chancellors, all Deans and Directors, former Chancellors, Vice Chancellors and Commandants of KDU, eminent scholars, senior officers of the Armed Forces and Police, distinguished guests joining us virtually from Sri Lanka and overseas, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I consider it as a great pleasure and a privilege to be present here today at the inauguration ceremony of General Sir John Kotalawala Defence University's International Research Conference, which is taking place for the 14th consecutive year, and I would like to thank the Vice Chancellor and the conference organizers for the invitation extended for me to be present here to participate in this event. The International Research Conference of KDU is providing the opportunity for academics, professionals, researchers, and practitioners to share their research findings and expertise addressing mutual challenges in their fields. Therefore, this event has gained a tremendous recognition among all interested parties around the world. Further, the provision of a wider interaction and networking with national and international scholars in respective fields would be absolutely beneficial for all the participants to broaden their horizons of knowledge through intellectual discussions. However, due to the global pandemic situation in effect, most of the participants may join the event through a virtual platform for this conference as same as the last year. Yet, I am sure we will be able to achieve the desired end state amidst this pandemic situation. Furthermore, I am extremely pleased that the theme selected by the KDU for the conference this year, Security, Stability and National Development in the New Normal, is a timely theme capable of augmenting the significance and focus of a subject of strategic national importance. Further to that, I firmly believe that the endeavor towards warranting the national development and ensuring national security becomes further from achievement by undermining the routine activities due to the ill effects of the pandemic, but becomes attainable by enabling the adaptability to the new normal, as widely accepted by all the countries in the world today, which is certainly implied by theme that you all have selected. In fact, as comprehensively illustrated by the keynote speaker, Mr. Lalit Weerathunga, it is quite imperative for all of us to understand and pursue the ways and means of adapting to the circumstances embedded within the new normal in order to coexist with the COVID-19, a pandemic which has not shown any date of expiry as of yet. Ladies and gentlemen, in the context of globalization and further economic integration in recent decades, The relationship between the national development and national security of a country has become increasingly interlinked. The national development has emerged as an important strategic priority for the Sri Lankan government, with a connection between development and national security, which will be orchestrated upon the vistas of prosperity and splendor. The national policy framework of our government, headed by His Excellency, the President Gotabaya Rajapaksa. Ladies and gentlemen, the development is generally dependent upon the stability of a country, which should be achieved by ensuring national security. Sri Lanka, being a country endangered by the ruthless terrorism for almost 3 decades, has experienced lots of hardships during the past and was in the verge of eyeing towards its development in the last decade. Even though we were able to relieve the country from the menace of terrorism, we have found another security threat in the form of a pandemic, which has posed a greater threat to the entire world. The threat that we face today is progressing in its second continuous year without of any indication of a possible termination. We are yet to find a permanent solution for the same. However, we must always work towards reaching our development goals without letting our country at peril. In such a context, our endeavor here as Sri Lankans should be to seek possibilities to find ways and means to steer the country towards the national development goals amidst said difficulties. Sri Lankan government is at the threshold of trying all possible methods to meet its economic goals and objectives, yet with lots of impediments whilst ensuring the human security. When the domestic affairs of a country are affected, it is extremely difficult for a country to reach its desired end states. Sri Lanka is no exception in this regard. Being a developing country, Sri Lanka cannot accept any economic standstills for a protracted time frame. However, any plans to expedite the economic gains should never be at the expense of human lives. Therefore, His Excellency the President himself has expressed his keenness on this aspect to see and inspire all possibilities available to ensure the maintenance of momentum in the economic sphere. In contrary, we should also not forget the other contemporary security concerns such as violent extremism, terrorism, piracy, drug and human trafficking, smuggling, cybercrimes, and other organized crimes and natural disasters that pose a grave threat towards the stability of a country. Sri Lanka's geostrategic location is susceptible for such threats as it is located in the main sea routes in the Indian Ocean. The same geopolitical significance has given a greater recognition to the country, thus have gained a demand from the rest of the world. In such a stance, the possibility of Sri Lanka becoming susceptible for threats posed from violent extremism and organized crimes are very high. As at present, the government has initiated a number of steps to curtail such illegal activities, and such measures taken such as demarcation of maximum security prisons concept and highly effective maritime domination programs launched by the Sri Lankan Navy, which have become very effective in restricting such threats. However, the effects of such activities itself possess a moderate level threat to the stability of our country. Ladies and gentlemen, a government alone cannot afford to face all these threats that are in concert ruining the stability of a country. Therefore, as responsible citizens, it is our bounden duty to provide novel ideas, suggestions and proposals to consider in regaining our country's stability and development. I hope the academic events of this nature will undoubtedly serve this national requirement. Such efforts arranged to address emerging challenges, promoting more research and development becomes a task of topmost priority for all of us. Fortunately, as the Secretary of Defense, I feel tremendously proud and content to state that the KDU is at the forefront of researching the development and security-related problems in the new normal. The approach adopted by the Kothalavala Defense University to understand the contemporary complex situations concerning on the bigger picture rather than dwelling on the narrow passages will become far more effective in resolving emerging complexity of future challenges. Therefore, I am well certain that faculties of General Sir John Kothalavala Defense University, with their interest, commitment, dedication and knowledge in diverse academic disciplines and outside researchers' inputs would contribute immensely to this year's research conference's theme. The knowledge that you are going to unearth and share during this conference would be of immense benefit not only to the academic community but to the entire humankind to make their lives better. In conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, I should express my most sincere appreciation to the Vice Chancellor, organizers of General Sir John Kothalavala Defense University's 14th International Research Conference 2021 for organizing this timely important event amidst the COVID-19 pandemic concerns, and I wish all the very best for the participants on their research work and wish this event be successful in all way imaginable. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for your patience hearing. Thank you.